Hey, how about fewer babies and more robots? Huh? Confused, right? We can't confirm such an expectation with our current humanoid bot tech, but the coming years will have this confidence. The Tesla CEO, Elon Musk, made a recent tweet regarding the population collapse that is happening in the US. Despite the fact that emerging technological advancements such as robotics, artificial intelligence, and automation may enhance production growth, it is viewed as a risk of disrupting jobs. But it is the only solution to the declining working class of the population. Yes, such a drop in the global population is severe and coming soon. Hey folks, and welcome back to another exciting episode. What are you guys waiting for? Like, share, and subscribe. When coming across the topic of declining population, you might think about our current population boom. So how's it going to decline? Although several reports predict that the global population will increase from 7.3 billion to over 10 billion by 2050, this is a large amount that frequently provokes alarm about overpopulation. Some have come from neo-Malthusians, who are concerned that population expansion may surpass food availability, leaving the world hungry. Others emerge in anti-immigrant populist tirades, emphasizing the threat of a rising tide of humanity as justification for closing borders. In a recent tweet, Elon Musk noted that the United States' fertility rate has been below the replenishment level of 2.1 for the past 50 years. Since being shared, the post has earned over 120,000 likes on Twitter. A population rise of 2.5 billion people may appear to be disastrous. However, the pace of population expansion, rather than the quantity of people, is important for economic growth. Since its peak in the 1960s, the rate has dropped nearly half to 1%, and the UN prediction expects that this trend will continue. That's a pretty small workforce. This isn't a joke. It may sound sarcastic when looking at our current population count, but it is possible. Don't believe us? Let us give you the wider view of our topic. Why don't we start by taking a look at our current industry? First and most importantly, because of the retirement of the baby boomers, the proportion of the working-age population in the total population is expected to fall dramatically in most industrialized nations in the next decade, and that will result in lower fertility in recent decades and increased lifespan. At the same time, there is a new wave of technological developments based on the advancement of robots and artificial intelligence that is causing some concern about the displacement of human labor, which will have an impact on employment and earnings. Coming back to Musk's statement, in response to Musk's tweet, someone commented that the main reason for that is people can't afford to have kids. But Musk responded and asked, why is it then that the richer someone is, the less kids they have? That is quite logical. If the current situation grows, we won't be having anyone in the working class sector by the coming decade. So, are humanoid robots or androids a viable answer to aging and dwindling populations? Given the risk of demographic decline and population aging, as well as growing anti-immigration sentiment, governments are increasingly turning to and investing in sophisticated robots and androids to manage diminishing workforces and rising senior populations. Well, Japan has already done it. Prime Minister Shinzo Abe of Japan, for example, has urged for faster development of sophisticated robotics. He believes that robots may assist the country in overcoming the disadvantages of a rapidly aging population and a shrinking workforce, and that robotics can be used in large-scale enterprises in every part of our economy and society. Do you know that more than 80 nations, accounting for 46% of the world's population, have fertility rates below the replacement level of roughly 2 births per woman? Fertility rates in several of these nations, including Canada, Germany, Hungary, Japan, Italy, South Korea, Spain, and the United Kingdom, have stayed below replacement for decades, and it is a rather severe condition. As a result of these ongoing low fertility rates, around 50 nations or localities are expected to have fewer populations by mid-century. Bulgaria, Croatia, Latvia, Lithuania, Moldova, Poland, Romania, Serbia, and Ukraine are among the nations whose populations are expected to fall by more than 15% by mid-century. That's not all. Furthermore, several nations are experiencing fast population aging. Population age structures are getting older than ever before as a result of low fertility rates and higher lifespan. The median age in wealthy nations, for example, has risen to more than 40 years, a 13-year increase since 1950. By mid-century, the median age in a dozen nations, including Japan, Spain, Italy, and Germany, will be 50 years or older. Okay, now how can humanoid robots help clear this issue? Well, let's see. Previously, the idea of androids operating within human society was mostly limited to science fiction, filmmakers, and futurists. Scientists, inventors, and business leaders have lately discussed the rise of the revolutionary era of humanoid robots with artificial intelligence. Governments, corporations, the military, and research institutions all realize the benefits and advantages of androids or human-like robots. Aside from completing monotonous manual jobs, androids may communicate and engage with humans, provide customer service and artificial companionship, conduct risky missions, perhaps save human lives, and even make love. Furthermore, unlike humans, androids do not require food or financial reimbursement, do not tire or require sleep, obey instructions directly and automatically, labor without pay, and do not experience fear, rage, pain, or despair. Lots of benefits, huh? All this may seem wonderful, but some have expressed grave worries about the potentially negative and even hazardous effects of androids with increased artificial intelligence. As androids develop more human-like, they are seen to constitute a threat to society. Advanced machine learning techniques, for example, enable robots to self-learn and duplicate. Do you recollect anything from Musk? Aside from that, rather than being a cure, others have cautioned that improved robots might lead to mass unemployment, affecting everyone from drivers to even prostitutes. Others have expressed worry about humans developing emotional attachments to androids that give artificial companionship. In contrast to primitive robotic systems, research has shown that individuals relate to androids as if they were humans. The Japanese man who chose to marry his robot is a recent example of such deep bonding. Somewhat weird, though. In response to these concerns, some have proposed a robot tax to generate cash for retaining displaced employees or providing them with a universal basic income if they stay unemployed. Another possibility is that governments would face pressure from their citizens to enact quotas for human labor. However, such recommendations do not meet the requirements of the millions of young people seeking work in developing nations. Let's take sub-Saharan Africa, for example. The population aged 15 to 24 is predicted to more than quadruple by mid-century, surpassing 400 million youngsters. Many young men and women are opting to migrate illegally to the industrialized nations in search of work and a better life. More than 40 countries already have robotic programs that have resulted in the development of unmanned aerial bombers. Of course, the military is a major driver of robotic and android research in many nations, as it strives to lessen hazards to soldiers while also acquiring greater intelligence, surveillance, and reconnaissance capabilities. The International Committee for Robot Arms Control is concerned that progress in robotics would lead to more nations becoming embroiled in conflict as androids and armed robot warriors replace human soldiers on the battlefield. Recently, 116 robotics and AI company founders from 26 nations signed a petition calling for the prohibition of killer robots or deadly autonomous weapon systems, stating that only humans should be allowed to murder humans. So it's basically a cure and a poison at the same time. Today, population dynamics are the most significant force affecting nations' growth and fall, and they serve as the beginning point for any assessment of an economy's prospects. The majority of the globe is graying rapidly, and the economic response to aging will be all hands on deck, regardless of material. So, from watching today's episode, what do you guys think? If you ask us, we would answer that although some consider androids as a possible solution to diminishing and aging populations, others see it as a concerning development that may represent a threat to human cultures. Given the enormous consequences of the forthcoming revolutionary era of androids, the international community of states should confront and endeavor to develop a worldwide agreement or convention on their use. Anyways, that's all we've got for today. Make sure to subscribe to our channel if you want to see more videos like this one. While you're at it, enable post alerts so you don't miss any of our future uploads. If you enjoyed today's video, please give it a like. We hope you had a great time watching this video. We'll see each and every one of you again on the next one.